From the mountains of British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we got a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for $5 a month. And Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We took a look to the sky tonight as we go beyond the stars to see what is flying out there besides the 4,000-plus satellites that seem to be roaming around the Earth. Ryan Stacey is a certified private investigator, the president and CEO of Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services, and the head and creator of the Experiencers Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. Ryan has personally investigated over 1,000 paranormal UFO sightings internationally. Under Ryan's watch, TESSA assists anyone that has come into contact with apparitions, hauntings, poltergeists, and other unusual phenomena associated with the subject. No matter how strange, no matter how unfamiliar, Ryan will try to get to the bottom of it. The website, tessacan.org. That's TESSACAN.org. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Ryan Stacey, I got to tell you, my friend, when I met you at Alien Cosmic Expo, it was an absolute pleasure. Glad to have you back on the show.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was good. Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
I got to ask you one thing, though, man.
Yeah, just get it out. Get it out of the way.
This is probably the most important question I will ask you all night.
Okay.
Have you actually shaved since the Alien Cosmic Expo? Because I don't think you shaved for 2 years previous to that, and you got that baby face that, you know, I think there was one whisker hanging out.
I think there's two now. I got nowhere. I'm nowhere close to what you got going on, but you never know.
Come on, have you shaved though? Be honest.
Yeah, a couple times.
Oh,
wow. Of course,
wow,
of course,
wow.
man.
That's just amazing. Amazing. You know what, buddy? I'm glad we can have a joke, and I always enjoy your time and company and everything like that. I got to ask you, in regards to ufology and everything that's going on, for our audience who may not be familiar with you, because it's always changing on a nightly basis, how did you get into this field? What brought you here?
Jesus, long story. Started out as a private investigator. Started my company with the intent of creating a paranormal division. So when I first started, I hooked up with a couple of paranormal groups in the area, and then they weren't taking it serious. And then I realized, okay, well, it's better off if I do it on my own. And then I got introduced to MUFON, which is a mutual UFO network. And when I got introduced to MUFON there, I kind of brought on the idea that I was a paranormal investigator at first and a licensed private investigator. And then I devoted 5 years of my life in service to MUFON. I was the field investigator for a year, and then promoted to the Ontario director for a year after that, then the chief investigator for Ontario. And then I became the assistant chief investigator, for Canada. And then I was the director of training for national, like the entire organization. I was responsible for training everyone on how to investigate UFOs. And then I left that to take my position as the national chief investigator for MUFON Canada. Then we had a title switch. So the national director switched to a Mark St. Germain. He gave me the boot. And then I created TESSA, which I'm now doing, the Experiencers Support Association. And a year after that, Mark St. Germain quit, and I was asked to come back to MUFON by Dave Palachuk, and I politely told him that I would no longer work for MUFON, but I would not have an issue working with them, and that's yet to be determined on how that's going to work. So in a nutshell, that's my life.
Well, that's a busy life, my friend. That is a busy life. I know that this whole subject, UFOs, paranormal, everything is in your blood. It's in your heart. It's what you love to do. And even though it doesn't pay anything, you feel you feel very, very dedicated to it. Where did that dedication come from?
Oh, where did it come from? Well, maybe it's always been in my center. It's always been in my core to help and assist people. Within the private investigating and the security industry, I do deal with a lot of people who are a lot of mental illness, a lot of, believing in things and hardship and pain and PTSD and stresses. So that was already kind of hardwired into me. What really, I guess, transferable skills within MUFON is whenever I would get that one case, that was an abduction, and I proved the witness to be credible, and then there's the trauma and all that other stuff. And I started to take a more deeper dive into focusing on the experiencer, less so much the experience itself, because there's so many different ways to explain things. So I wanted to get more into the core. And as I dive more into that, I start to realize that there is corruption, there is cover-ups, and statistically proven there are a lot of scenarios going on that is unexplained and with a whole bunch of credible people. And then I just feel so bad because these people aren't being believed. These people aren't receiving the support that they truly deserve, that they truly need. And they were putting a false hope. They were given false hope by other organizations trying to do the same or claiming to do the same. And I guess now I've shot myself in the foot to the sense that I protested against it. Decided to create an alternative, a support per se, which was TESSA, which is why it's the Experiencers Support Association. And now that I've done that, left MUFON, and the attention is now, I guess, here. I kind of have to, because I basically, I fought the demon, I challenged the demon, exposed the demon, and here I am. So I can't give up now. So
in other words, you're UFO Fonzie, where you jump the shark with your leather jacket on.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. This is actually the first interview that I've had without all that stress too. So I'm completely independent now, completely free. So like no holds barred, man. We can talk about anything you want.
Well, let's get into TESSA a little bit here, because coming out of MUFON, your time there, you created TESSA, which is the Experiencer Support Association. Why was this important for you to do?
It was important because MUFON, being as big as it is, and of course being on TV and books and conferences, like it's well known, and because it's well known and its popularity, everyone is reporting to it. It's the only reporting database that has a group of investigators that go out and do these. They'll go out, but pardon me, that do investigations. Now, paranormal, there's that other side of the spectrum. Those paranormal cases were always, left on the cutting room floor. They were always rejected. We were told never to investigate them, just to let them go. And there was a bunch of, experiencers. I call them experiencers. A bunch of people reporting, and not getting any answers. So with MUFON Canada, talk with Stu Bundy, who's still the senior advisor for MUFON Canada. So I'm told I haven't seen anything posted by him for a while, but I hope he's okay. I basically just said, why don't you funnel all the paranormal reports to me? I do not like the fact that we do not investigate these cases, even though we're a UFO, group. These paranormal cases need to be investigated because the people are looking up to the image, and they're expecting us to do something. And if we don't answer them, then then what's the point of having this status, of having this credibility, if we're not doing anything about it? So it was passed to me, and then I got a whole bunch of cases, and then I got overwhelmed because there was just so much paranormal cases. And because, I didn't have a platform like MUFON to properly archive or properly store these reports. They were mostly done on Facebook or private chat and printed and put in a folder, it was just really archaic. So the concept of creating Tessa was to make it easier for me to do the same work, just to kind of work smarter, not harder. And in doing so, I had the opportunity of creating a database myself. And I used updated software and a whole bunch of things. I ended up creating a literal, simple, easy investigated reporting system that pretty well brings the experiencer to the conclusion of what it may be, and all I really have to do is look at it and either agree or disagree and have a conversation about it. So, and that was strictly just for paranormal. Now, of course, MUFON wasn't happy about it because I had what was an updated version of their system, and it was seen as competitive, and it never was intended to be. But the idea was just to make my work a lot easier, because I tried so hard to change the MUFON the MUFON database, the reporting system. It's just outdated, and it's really hard and to understand and to read, and a lot of information was missed, or it's all in a blob. So I tried to fix it, but they didn't take it. They didn't take the idea. So Tessa basically was a way for me to display all these good ideas that I thought were good, even though MUFON rejected them. So once they were made, I then talked to Jan. I put together what's called a joint venture agreement and said, hey, why don't we work together? I'll do paranormal, you do UFOs. And then that kind of opened up a can of worms on the MUFON side, and Mark St. Germain, being the national director at the time, that kind of took away from his expenditures in Quebec, and which basically my business model for Tessa was a little bit cheaper, which basically was like no membership fees or nothing. So it took away from the pot and earning money and things like that. So they considered it a threat. So I tried really hard to convince them otherwise. And it's only the sweet irony that after, 1 year without me, I get asked to come back after he quit to fix the mess and whatnot. So long story short, the concept was to assist the experiencers on a higher level, because MUFON wants the picture, wants the video, so they can do what it is that they do with it, and that's post it and share it and take the credit and do all these other things too. I felt that if it wasn't for the experiencer, we wouldn't have that information, and there needed to be more gratitude provided to the experiencer instead of, hey, you can be a member for $7 a month. Or hey, pay to come to this conference, or hey, come to this meeting so we can talk about your case and tell everyone all the work that we did and not give any credit to you. So the concept was to basically provide that support system to those victims, of abductions or shadow figures, or things like that too, like where there's actual residual stresses that are left behind. Similar to what the ERT is for MUFON National, but I wanted to have a Canadian brand. because MUFON Canada does operate different than MUFON USA, even though they were attached as a satellite. So I wanted to have, our Canadian version of ERT, and that's the Experiencer Research Team for MUFON USA. And again, they just saw it as a threat, and they cast me out. So then, when they cast me out, I just said, well, if I got no reason to draw a line, so Tesla's now investigating UFOs, because originally it was just we do paranormal, which was everything else, and you do UFOs. And the whole point for me is it's all the same. It's all the same stuff. It's all connected, and unless it's all collected together and investigated together, you won't be able to draw the parallels to actually connect them. So that's where I'm at now. So I'm trying to provide better help to the people, to encourage them to report and feel like what they did actually meant something. You know what I mean?
Yes. Ryan, there are so many people in this field who refuse to believe there is any connection between paranormal, ghosts, Bigfoot and the cryptids, and UFOs and aliens. Yet you are one of the few out there who actually believes there is some sort of tie in between. Why do you believe this?
Well, the investigative approach is similar to, I guess a good analogy would be look at religions. The easiest and quickest example is let's say Greek and Roman mythology. Zeus and Jupiter, so Zeus is the same deity that Jupiter is, and they both have the same characteristics. Lightning, like all these, and there's Hades and Pluto, different planets. So essentially, if you were to drop the names and describe the characteristics of those two gods, they would be one and the same. And if you did the same and worked backwards, then I believe, I don't know, Thor, could be, or Odin could be Zeus in Norse mythology, one of the two, right? If we just drop the characteristics and we look at what's similar, and that's, lightning and thunder and all that other stuff. So when investigating phenomena, so paranormal, the word itself, just means anything above the realm of normal. So technically, by definition, an unidentified flying object using technology or bending space and time, something we're unfamiliar familiar to, is not normal. So technically, that's paranormal. It's above normal. Ghosts and all that stuff is under that umbrella term. So the terms themselves have been misused over the years. And if you have to actually break down to the definition, so the etymology of the word, what the actual word means, right? So using that approach, I just investigate the event. So the event basically, with the reporting system we get the experiencer gets to choose their category and then a subcategory. So the category could be an abduction, and then the subcategory is basically describing their captor. So some people may put a shadow figure, some people might put a ghost, some people might put an ET, an extraterrestrial. So what I have with that is a variance of interpretation, but the commonality between all of them is everyone was abducted. So then I asked them to draw or send, or describe what they're saying, or describe the symptoms, describe the after effects, and that's where I see the similarities. So it doesn't matter what term is being used. Someone who saw what they think is a shadow figure, and someone who saw a ghost, and someone who saw an alien, all saying that they all feel pressure on their chest, and they're all seeing feeling this tingling sensation, and they're all have incisions, and they ghosts don't do that, but they think it's a ghost based on what they see. Right? If we just follow the lore. And then when they draw the pictures, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's not a ghost. That's definitely not a ghost, or a shadow figure that looks like, Dogman or something like that. So the pictures and everything too is where I'm able to draw the parallels. So the turning point basically is looking at the data as data, looking at the information as information, and I'm working towards reclassifying, entities. There's many interpretations for these types of entities, but I really think we need to make a new classification system, and that's what I'm working towards.
We only got about 2.5 minutes here. Give me a quick synopsis of the classification system, and if we need to, we could take it through the rest of the break.
So on my end?
Yes.
So let's take gray alien, for an example. We call them the grays. We know what they look like, but there's actually different types of grays. There's different colors of grays. There's different characteristics of grays. So instead of calling them grays, I basically, like I want to get characteristics like height, how many fingers, things like that. So that way we can classify it as type A gray or type B gray, or not even call it a gray at all, just an entity from, a group of species within a category. So now we can really take a look at, specifically, and it could even be Bigfoot too, like instead of calling it Bigfoot, let's just like it's a different species of ape, or if is it even an ape, like is there a group that, how many of these are 4 feet tall? How many of these are 6 feet tall? Kind of like sub-classifications, right? And then once we have all that data, it'll be easier to look at a case and what someone is explaining and be able to classify or understand what type of creature or entity that they're describing. And then we'll be able to not have to fixate on a term. We don't have to call it a ghost. We don't have to call it an alien. We can just basically say, okay, well, other people have seen a creature that is described the same. And with more data like that, then we might be able to do more intense studies to actually try and figure out, A, if that type of species could exist, and B, where can we find it? Because we also have the locations of where it is.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Ryan, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we're going to go to break in about 30 seconds. But I want to give a shout out to everybody in our Spreaker chat room tonight because I got some bad news. One of our local listeners to where I live, a lady who came into the room named Heather Mary Dillon, she came into our chat room not frequently, but every now and again to say hello to everybody. She passed away last night due to pneumonia. So we always like to make sure we give a shout out to our guests, and if something happens to them, we find out because we do care about each and every one of our listeners out there. So rest in peace, Heather. Hope you have a good stay on the other side, because you were a good friend, you were a good listener of this show, and we want to make sure that the other side is pretty comfortable for you, Heather. Rest in peace, my friend. Anyways, Ryan Stacey from Tessa, our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. UFO statistics, everything about UFOs, weirdness, strangeness, paranormal. We'll get into it. His website, tessacan.org. Second half hour coming up next.
Cool.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know little brother is watching.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacey from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines Report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. For more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Glad to have each and every one of you tuning on in tonight, no matter where you're listening in. Reminder to all of you, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can check those on out while you're listening to the show. Ryan Stacey from TESSA, the Experiencer Support Association, based out of Toronto, Ontario, is here tonight to talk about UFOs, statistics, sightings, reports, and why he believes there is a blend between everything paranormal. Ryan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Now, be honest with you. You buy a pack of Bics. How long do they last?
Are you gonna do this every?
There's a good possibility. There's a good. You with that baby face. What is it? You go through a pack of 20 in about what? 8 years? 9 years?
Yeah.
I figured.
I have no facial hair. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I try really hard to be manly, really hard, but I just can't. That's what you want me to say? Is that what you want? You want to beat me down because I can't grow a beard?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I can't impersonate Sasquatch.
That makes me feel better. Yes.
I can't pretend to be a rock star.
Yes. Yeah. That's good enough. That's good enough now. Okay. Don't beat yourself up too much there. Don't beat yourself up too much there.
Are you jealous? Are you jealous that I don't look like a werewolf?
I am actually, because when you have a face for radio like I am, and you see a cute baby face such as yourself, I get a little jealous, and I get a little compromised and everything like that. I mean, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do, my friend?
Well, no, I got to be honest with you. When I walked past you the first time, I had to go get my camera because I thought I saw Sasquatch for the first time.
Yeah, bring that up. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. This is a friend of a show, Ryan Stacey. But Ryan, getting into UFOs here a little bit. Now, you come from things more on a Canadian aspect than a North American aspect, and so. For a lot of our listeners who just have intrigue in UFOs in general, how busy is Canada when it comes to the UFO experience?
Well, it's not as busy as the rest of the world, but I mean, it really depends on what's being reported. I want to say that the percentage of people that actually report is so small in comparison to the people that are actually seeing things. It doesn't seem too busy. Because most of the stuff I investigate, I end up being identified anyways, or inconclusive, with evidence to support any claims and stuff like that too. So there's a lot of people reporting, for the percentage that do report, a lot of them report continuously. So there's a lot of reports coming in, but there's not a lot of them that are wow or unknown. That's just from what I remember with MUFON. So the last year, not having access to the statistics or the MUFON database, I've been collecting what I could through the TESSA reporting system, as well as I've been tracking civilian aviation daily occurrence reports, which comes from Transport Canada. So I have, let me look at my list here, from January 2019 all the way up to November 19th. November 20th. I have 187 lines, so that's roughly 187 reports. Now, what KDOR is, it basically, if a civilian pilot or a professional pilot, it has an issue in the air or before takeoff, they're required to report that to the safety board, and then that information gets transcribed into this civilian aviation report that then gets published, which I have a subscription to, which then I do read. Now, when those reports come in, there's usually like 300 to 400 sometimes of like flight issues, and that ranges from a tail light, not working on the plane, or someone lost their luggage and things like that. But every once in a while, the keyword drone comes up. So I've been tracking drones, and that's why I have 187 of drones that are reported. And because I'm trying to figure out, are these really drones? Right, because then there are some characteristics with reported heights. So, like some say they're 50 feet, some say they're like 10,000 feet in the air. So I think there was one at 40,000 feet. So I don't know what kind of drones could be up there and how close they could be. But there's also interesting characteristics too. The keyword UFO has been used how many times? Let me search in my data, my report here. UFO. Find all. Doesn't tell me the number. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to say there's a good 50 UFO terms that are actually used in these reports that no one's actually talking about or using them. So I've been collecting that data. And when it says UFO, now sometimes that's like, that could be a fireball or it could be a firework or a balloon. So we all know that balloons might not actually be balloons because of Roswell, all that stuff. But there are some that have some interesting characteristics, and I apply for freedom. I apply for the access to information with NORAD, and I have some good ones that talk about lights chasing aircraft, and nobody's talking about these. So, So my point is, to answer your question, is I don't think the people that are legitimately seeing things are properly reporting to MUFON or to TESA. They're keeping it quiet. And the information that I've collected is just basically somebody following their job and inputting this data in a report that no one ever reads. And, yeah.
I got to ask you, in regards to these lights that have been chasing aircraft, what's happening there?
I can see if I can find the report. 6 bright lights, high rate of speed, NORAD. So let me see if I can pull it up. May 2009. I gotta find the report. Poop. So there was one in Vancouver, BC, at night at 0800, so that's Zulu time. The report's number 157. So the event occurred May 25th, 2019. UFO was the keyword, and 6 lights were reported. So from what I remember, because I have to pull the actual report up, it's in my file. Maybe I'll pull that out on the next break so we can talk about it. But basically, an aircraft had reported 6 bright lights in the sky going at a high rate of speed. And I think it said that no other aircraft were in the vicinity at that point, and NORAD was contacted to investigate. Now, when they mention NORAD, that's when I do that access to information request. And I've made a request on all of these, and my mail comes back opened and then taped. I recently just wrote an article about that, explaining that every time I do a Freedom of Information request, my mail comes back with my name circled on it, The side of the envelope has been cut, and then as if the envelope, the document has been pulled out and then put back in and then taped before it gets to me, and then, you know, a whole bunch of weird things. And, of course, it says no information found or no records found. I'll have to pull this one up on the break because I can actually read to you what it says.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. So these lights that are allegedly chasing craft, who's watching these? Or, you know, because I always wonder, is this maybe drones? Is it or something flying by and you have the chase craft with it? You know, I've always wondered that.
Yeah, it could be. Very well could be. I'm just looking at the notes that I made too. Controlled airspace, party balloons. So essentially, it's interpretation, right? People just saw something that they needed to say and it was a concern. It was like a near miss or something, you know, silly like that, right? I guess I didn't make a note. There was another one that I saw that reported 24. Yeah, it's right here. The last one I just said it right at the bottom. So that was November. December 26th. 24 lights were reported. And I think it was 2 separate streams of 12, if I can remember. So that was my last Freedom of Information request that I had sent out. I sent that one out, I think, December. I haven't got an answer back. They're supposed to give me an answer back in like 30 days. I can pull that one up too.
Now, was NORAD contacted in any of these cases? Do we know
most of the
FOIAs?
Well, most of them they are. And I just thought of something I haven't actually said yet on air. So maybe we just do this for the first time too. I'm just going into my folder here, but I actually got a NORAD document investigation back. Just totally see if I can find it here. Because I brought this with me to Ace. Yeah, it's a CD here. I got to pop the CD in to get the file. And I showed it to Richard Dolan, and I showed it to Paul Hellier, and I think I brought it and showed it to you. Did I not?
Yes,
you remember that NORAD document I did? Yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So, sorry, I'm just totally all over the place here. We'll save this for after the break because I want to let me find the actual report and then read you why I sent the Freedom Information request in, and then I'll tell you what I got on this document because I haven't said it publicly yet, and I've been trying to figure out how to get that message out too. So everyone that I do a Freedom of Information request usually says it was reported to DND or was reported to NORAD or was reported to the authorities. So basically it was of some concern that the civilian that is filling out the information or the pilot that had observed it thought it was of some sort of risk to I guess themselves or the plane or to, you know, some national threat, right? Some threat of some sort that they needed to notify the authorities. So if it is a drone, unless the drone was, you know, in front of the cockpit or, you know, obstructing the view or something, you know, of criminal nature, there's no need to really make a report unless it's appeared to be threatening. You know, 6 bright lights being chased, chasing an aircraft appears to be frightening. Whether that's one of ours or one of theirs, that's yet to be determined, but we need to confirm what it is, right? And then these 24 lights, I don't know, I'm waiting for that one to come back. No record found. But there are also some legitimate explanations. Like some will say like blue and white and passing on, you know, like kites and stuff like that. A whole bunch of things get reported. But what I'm looking for, so with this data at the end, what I'm planning on doing is, and I'm sending it to our UAV pilot. So Tessa has an official RPAS and drone like pilot I think he works for the government as well. I think he's got not the government, but I think he's got a few government contracts to fly and operate drones. He's going to take this data set once I have it finished, and he's going to actually look at these characteristics and be like, this was that drone, this was this drone, and this was that drone. But there's actually a couple in here that I've sent him, and he says, like, no, there's no way that could be a drone because drones don't reach that height or do that speed. So actually going to have some good data to actually learn what a drone is in terms of capability in flight and all these other things. And then basically what I'll do then is I'll do a freedom of information request on these drones that don't match the characteristics to rule out basically the theory that the government is using drone as a code word, right? And I have a feeling, I just have an inkling that a lot of these drones that I'm looking at here are actually UFOs, and someone's been getting to them before the report comes out.
Do you think that someone is governmental or somebody else investigating?
Well, I don't know, because so when my mail came back tampered for the first time, so the envelope was open, taped over, the stamp was on top of the tape. So like it was like during a process. I had first questioned the people at the post office, and they were like, no, we would never do that because it's a criminal offense. It's like, obviously, that's why I'm asking you, right? So they swore up and down that they never tampered my mail. Plus, they know who I am. I'm local in town, so that they're going to tell me the truth. So then I contacted NORAD, not NORAD, D&D. They're in Ottawa, where the request was sent. And the clerk had told me that she never tampered it. She says sometimes the flap on the back doesn't stick properly, so they put a piece of tape over the back. But she says other than that, that's the only time they ever use tape. So I had asked her, so what reason would there need to be to cut open the top of the envelope and then tape over it before mailing it out to me? She says she has no idea, other than the fact that the mail gets sent up before it goes down. And what she means by that is when she processes the report, she takes, she puts the information that's available inside the envelope, and then she sends it to the next department, which is upstairs. So the upstairs department then, once it's processed upstairs, then goes downstairs to be mailed out. So my assumption is upstairs is when it got opened, and I don't know if a document was removed or replaced or just looked at before sent to me. All I can confirm is that the person who's doing the work believes that they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And then the mail gets sent downstairs. So I'm assuming that's that would be the mailing part or the secretary part. I have no idea because there's like multiple floors in this building. And then it gets sent out to me. Then it gets stamped and then stamped again. And then I get it and then it's opened. So what do you think about that?
Well, I'm wondering who's watching you.
Well, I don't know, but I get mail because I was in the Army as well. I get letters from the Army as well, same building, checkups and stuff like that, and none of it's tampered. It's got the same. I got one piece of mail that has the same date as one of the Freedom of Information requests that I sent out. Same date, which means it was stamped and brought to the place at the same time. The UFO request is tampered, and my my Veterans Affair envelope is not. So I can't say, but that's weird, is it not?
Well, I mean, it is. Are you being followed? Is your phone being tampered with? Is your email being hacked?
Well, if it is, I would know about it, and we have to assume that it is. We have to assume that the call is being listened to. Like, I mean, I got an Alexa in front of me. She swears up and down that she's not Skynet, but I keep asking her. So what? If they are, right? Like, but why, right? That's the thing. Because, like, my mail, not only is it being tampered, but my name's being circled. So I know I'm on a list, and that could be because I continuously ask for the information. So maybe it's my persistence. They're like, this guy won't lay off, right? Now, that doesn't really concern me. What concerns me the most is that I was given a document of an investigation, and I don't know what to do with it. So I gave a copy to Richard Dolan, and like it's not much. It's really not like, oh my God, the smoking gun, but it's just confirmation that an investigation to this weird thing was actually carried out and investigated. So with the question that I really have is why tamper all my mail? Why check it? Why process it? And then all of a sudden let one slip through the cracks? That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. As we got about 2 minutes here before we got to go to break at the top of the hour.
Then I'll find that stuff. Yeah.
Are you? Have you noticed you're being followed? I mean, you're a private investigator. You would know this stuff. Who's got the FLIR camera on you?
Well, I never really looked to see who was being followed. I mean, I'm in a small town. There's a lot of people that could hate me. There's a lot of people that could do stuff to me, for many different reasons. Child support, infidelity. There's many reasons for people to come at me because I do have a target on my back. But, I haven't noticed anything significant. We do get cars across the street, but there's a bit of paranoia there too. So it's possible. It's definitely possible, but nothing significant enough has been noticeable. But I feel like I need to push some stuff around to continue doing what I'm doing as insurance because, something happens, then maybe I'm onto something, right?
What are you brewing?
What am I brewing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just asking for information, right? I'm not protesting. I'm just asking, and they finally gave me something, and I just don't know what to do with it. So after the break, I'll read it out to you, and then maybe you can we can decide on how to get it out there.
Sure. We'll even ask the audience response on that. Does it make you nervous?
Oh, yeah, I'm real nervous. I am. I was going to write an article. Well, I wrote 2 articles leading up to it, but I haven't. I was going to write the 3rd article about it. But I guess the cat's out of the bag, and if I don't deliver tonight, then oopsie doodles. I'm looking out my window right now. I just watched Project Blue Book, the 2nd episode tonight bore the show started.
Uh-oh. Well,
so did you get a chance to see it or no?
No, I haven't, and I am.
It was a good one.
I'm kind of sorry I haven't. But Ryan, I'm going to get you to hold on. We're going to jump out of here in just a couple of seconds' time. Ryan Stacey from the Experiencers Support Association. Tessacan.org is the website. We'll have more on Spaced Out Radio with Ryan coming up.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com. We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacey, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. We want to say hello to everyone listening in on KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, and UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. On the digital side, we're proud to broadcast live on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Icknewman. Icknewman is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers for just $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Tonight we are talking with the creator from TESA, the Experiencer Support Association. Out of Toronto, Ontario, we have Ryan Stacey, their website, tessacan.org. TESA also runs our SOR Sightlines report. I went with them because they are very independent. They don't answer to anybody. They're not selling off their information. And I appreciated that. Ryan, welcome back.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, we don't sell off private information. No, that's for sure.
No, that's kind of not cool to do that. It really is kind of not cool to do that. I'm curious, Ryan, in regards to UFOs, what are people seeing when they report something to you? Are there any similarities to what is being reported?
No. Like on the visual side of things, the images that I've been given, they look different. There's different types of interpretations. There are different types of... they all look different, to be honest. They all look the same when people take photos of them, because they're bright lights in the sky that nobody can tell what they are, and they're moving all around. But I like to get people to draw what they saw, because most people who legitimately saw stuff don't have time to bring the camera out. They just saw it and it's gone. But when they draw it from memory, I've seen a variance. But there are, the lights are underneath. There's a commonality of that. Lights are underneath from what I've seen so far. But no, that's a good question. I never even thought about that, but the ones that I have right now don't look anything alike.
All right, so what's the purpose of getting somebody to draw?
What's the purpose? Well, to get a visual, I guess, obviously, because like most people who have experiences don't, like I said just a few minutes ago, that they don't have time to pull out the phone, or the phone might not be working, might not be accessible, so they're just like amazed by what it is that they're seeing. Drawing kind of it also allows them to put, not just put pen to paper, but to focus on the memory, to focus on the thought, and to focus on the details. So it's kind of like writing something in a book. The 5-minute rule, you're just going to write for 5 minutes, and then next thing you know, you wrote a novel in 30, right? So it's a way of bringing out additional information that's really hard to think of, and it taps into the creative side as well. Plus, I get all the information prior to asking them to draw, so it also helps me validate the truth, because they're drawing similar things to what they've described. But then at the same time, it's like when they describe this craft moving around in the sky, and I'm like, "Hey, draw it for me," and then it looks all weird and interesting and unique. It's like, okay, well, that definitely wasn't a satellite, which is what I was thinking of. So it also puts it more in perspective. Could they make it up? Yes, but I'm hoping to get enough drawings that I'm able to compare. And where I can actually make comparisons are the likeness of the creatures or entities that appear to be taking some individuals. They all seem to look similar, even though they're called different things.
What kind of craft are being reported most often? Is it still black triangles? Are we back to discs? Are we back to bright orbs in the sky? What is it?
I have orbs. I do have a diamond-shaped craft that may be military, possibly. I have a drawing of a bell-shaped craft. I have a drawing of, what else do I have? Another die. I guess it's kind of like the delta shape, like a V, kind of like on the new Space Force crest there. Not the Star Trek one, the newest one.
Yeah.
So I have a variance of that. I have, I'm just trying to think what's different. I do have a couple orbs, some that are orange. Orange seems to be a common color for these orbs, various sizes. There are some details on some of these orbs as well, depending on what people remember through regression. So we always send them through regression hypnotherapy as well, if we can. And that brings out more information from the subconscious as well. So yeah, that would be my variables right now. Those are the main ones that stick to my mind as far as visuals go.
Are people still reporting seeing aliens?
Yes.
Give us a story. Give us a story.
Give me a story. Okay. Well, one case that I recently investigated, case number 3, has to do with the secret space program, possibly. I have an experiencer who, we actually just talked about his case on our podcast. We have a podcast every Thursday called Beyond the Tinfoil Hat.
Nice.
Just plug that in quick. I should get you on there as a guest. Maybe it'd be awesome.
I might be able to make some time for you.
Then we can talk about your experiences and stuff.
Oh, nobody wants to do that.
Well, I do. I didn't get to see your presentation because I was kicked out of the conference, remember? I didn't hijack it till the second day.
Well, I realized that. That's because they realized that you hadn't shaved.
Yeah.
Looking like
I'm trying not to swear, man. I'm trying not to swear.
Looking like a hippie with that really one chin hair.
Yeah. So this experiencer started off by saying that he has an injury to his knee that he doesn't recall getting, and then we did some digging and some research and things like that. And I sent him for regression, and then I listened to the regression, and then I had him draw a whole bunch of things, and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of time had passed. I had him draw everything first before I sent him to regression, and then he told a story that like hit every landmark on point, that it's almost believable. And we're at the point where we're considering him to be a precog. Like he's done some mind work on some sort of a military base. I think he mentioned Camp Hero, which is New York, Montauk, all that stuff. And he recalls going through what's called a time tunnel. And while processing or learning to go through the time tunnel, he explains that he gets stretched while he goes through this time tunnel. But the interesting thing is he says they don't normally send humans to go through because they don't travel well. But they end up sending the tall ones, which travel better. And he explained that the tall ones travel better because they're longer and they don't need to stretch. So stretching somehow has to do with traveling through these time tunnels. But the way he described these tall beings, they resemble the Scandinavian Nordic type aliens, or some call them the Pleiadians, some call them the Anunnaki. They all... So he recalls working alongside those beings who apparently those beings work with the gray beings, which are more of a worker race. So, and his time tunnel brought him to, we're not sure if it's Mars or Venus, where the Greys were observed to be the mechanical beings, like they were helping build and repair, physical structures, whereas the Pleiadians were there to assist in battling against these lizard-type beings, which were, assumed to be draconians. So I got drawings of all these things too, and they look creepy, and they don't look like any of these renditions that I see on the internet. You still there?
That is kind of freaky. That is really kind of freaky.
So
yes,
the interesting thing I'm finding with drawings is because we're taking time with the experiencer. The experiencer is going to be, once they draw it, they get to keep it. It's theirs. It's a part of their art and stuff, right? But because people are actually drawing, and because with MUFON, it's like, you got a picture or do you got a video? No? Okay, next. See you later. Essentially. If they don't have anything to post, to share, or to brag about, they got nothing to talk about. But if they were to take this approach and actually spend the time to get to know the witness, to get to learn all these things and earn that trust and go through this process, like I have things drawn that I've never seen while working with MUFON. I like cannot be explained. Details that are so real that they got to be true. Because the witness is already credible in my mind. I've already processed them. I've already cross-examined them. I've already fact-checked everything and validated as much as I could before I reach out and ask some questions. When I ask them the questions, that's the truth right there. Are you going to respond, or are you not going to respond? If you respond back and forth a few times, more than likely, I'm going to be convinced that you're serious about what you saw. And then if you draw something that's completely like out of whack, that lines up to everything you told me 3 months ago, it's hard to disbelieve that, right? Now, what I'm hoping is that over time, I'm going to have a lot of these drawings that are similar in duplicate, because this is my first year without MUFON, and I just want to say less is more in this sense, because I only have 70 cases that were reported to Tessa exclusively. That's not a lot, but every single case that's reported has been investigated, and I want to say a good 25% of those, as it stands right now, that have been closed, all have images that have never been seen on the internet before. Like they're not copied from somewhere. These are new. It's new information. I'm just kind of rolling off the seams here.
No, I understand that. But with the experiences people are having with extraterrestrials, and we're going to get to some audience questions here momentarily, are they still saying that the abductions are pretty horrific? Are they saying that they're pretty positive? Is there anything different or strange about them?
There's a mixture. One of the questions asked is your perception of it being a negative or positive experience. There are some abduction cases where they've said it's positive, and that just simply just basically means that it's a frequent visit going home, like seeing these people seem to be a common thing and it's accepted. There are some that are negatively affected and terrified by it. There's a lot of marks. There's a lot of I don't want to say incisions, because I'm not quite sure how the marks get there, but there's a lot of pain in the head, which may be a sign of telekinesis or some psychic ability. There's a lot of burns, burning sensations, rashes. So that would be negative in the sense. There's a lot of there's a couple cases where some women have not had the ability to birth children or to even conceive, and then all of a sudden they were able to have children, and then those children happen to have some sort of psychic or paranormal abilities as well. So I find that to be interesting. So it's traumatic in the sense that they seem to link this event, that happened to them to their children. So it usually starts out as I'm concerned about my kids, and then through research we end up learning that it was them, and where it started. And then of course that always sends them an alarm too. So it's part of. Got to make sure we take care of the experiencer too, especially when delivering the news, or at least our interpretation, of what we think may be happening. Yeah. Then there's of course.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, and then there's of course those who are visited by shadow figures. There are some shadow figure stories or events where the shadow figures materialize through a wall, and then all of a sudden they've been transported onto a ship. And these experiencers believe that the shadow figures are a different thing, and the beings that are on the ship are aliens. So even in their own report, they're saying ghosts and aliens, but it very well could have been the same interdimensional being, traveling from one place to another, and it's just how it was interpreted. There's a lot of parallels. But this year again is baseline. This is the baseline year of actually investigating everything.
Right. Ryan, I got a question from Aaron in the chat room who is asking, what do you find to be your most interesting UFO sighting that you've had reported?
I don't know. I have one that comes to mind. I guess it's always the first one. The first one was I like the UFO cases that lead to missing time. It starts with a light in the sky, that's it. The investigator, like the person who's experiencing it, is just like that. That's all I saw. I just wanted to let you know it's nothing of concern. But then I start talking to them, getting more information, and then they start reporting other events. So I guess as an example, like for the secret space program experiencer, prior to investigating that case, he had made reports about seeing UFOs. So his most recent sighting was about UFOs, and he couldn't make sense of it. But then I asked him to make reports of, other things that have happened in the years to get, I guess, more data, more things to investigate. But then we were able to figure out that, like, he's seen multiple crafts, and he's seen multiple spirits and multiple things, and it's all connected. But then there's another experiencer who I investigated while I was with MUFON, my last case, and then when I got the boot there and started Tessa, she actually took all her information and gave it back to me through Tessa too. So I'm re-investigating that one again, and she has a interesting depiction of a craft. It's triangular shape, but there's some features on it, and with the land, it's hard to explain. You have to see it, and those are the ones I like when I can't explain it, and you have to see it. And it's hard to pick my favorite one because they're all interesting and they're all unique.
All right. Well, let's move on here to another question here.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Nick in the chat room is asking, do you have any reports from that strange area? Oh, thanks, Nick. I read these cold. He goes, do you have any reports from that strange area near SOR headquarters? I think it had green in the name. I think you mean Greeny Lake or Green Lake, one of the two, because we got both of them up here. But you get a lot of cases from British Columbia?
I can tell you how many cases I get because I have the survey open. So let me look at that. So, British Columbia specifically. Yeah, there's actually quite a few. So I have... Let me look at the unknown ones.
Well, we only got about 45 seconds.
Okay, so yes, the answer is yes. I have about 17 right now in British Columbia. I have one that's an unknown. That's case number 28. It was reported as area phenomenon, believed to be ET tech. It was unidentified. And I can't show you a picture because
that's okay.
I'm working on a survey to release that, but that one was a bell-shaped craft. Not the bell-shaped craft that I talked about earlier. Weird. And it went over a residential area, and it did a zigzag step-type pattern. That was one of the ones I thought was a satellite, and then I asked her to draw it for me, and then I'm like, that's definitely not a satellite. And but what the hell else could it be?
Exactly. We're going to fit one more question in here before we got to go to break because the music is on. Kevin wants to know if your one chin hair has a bead in it. And we're going to leave it right there.
It does not. Thanks, Kevin. Don't encourage him, man.
Oh, we're encouraging. We're encouraging. Ryan Stacey continues on Spaced Out Radio right after this with his one bead on his chin hair.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter @Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Themer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd Psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Always a pleasure to broadcast to you live. Reminder to you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, and so much more at spacedoutradio.com. We have Ryan Stacey on from the Experiencers Support Association based out of Toronto, Ontario. They also run our Sightlines report on our website, spacedoutradio.com. So if you have a sighting that you want checked out, just head over there. They can do it for you. Ryan, welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry, I just need a minute. I'm shaving.
Well, I would say you only need about a second or two then. My goodness. My goodness. I got a bunch of questions from Trip here in the chat room.
All right.
And he is asking, I'll ask him one at a time. He goes, after you investigate these reports, what do you do with them?
Good question. What has been happening so far is when the report comes in, the first thing that I do is I take I take specific responses from the survey, from the report, and I put it into the survey. So the survey will have items like the event date, the event location, not the exact location, but like the town, the closest town, major town or city, the province, the date, the time, how long the event lasts. Sometimes I might even add the blood type of the experiencer if they're willing to provide that, because I want to actually see if there is a trend with blood types. But, it all depends on what the experiencer decides to do. So that's the first thing I do. Once the report comes in, before I do that, I email a copy to the witness, so they have a categorized journal of their report, because what you've basically done is you provided a report for us to use, but the way the system is designed, it's going to take your information and display it in an investigative format, so that way you can actually do something with it. So you get a copy. Then within the reporting system, you are asked specific questions, what you want us to do with it. So basically, you set the stage. If you want us to investigate it, we'll investigate it. If you want us to make a movie about it, we'll try and make a movie about it. You get to set the stage. And the best part about you having that copy of that report is that if you tell us what you don't want us to do and we do that, you have a kind of like a contract between the two of us that basically, you can be like, hey, remember I said don't do this, and you did that. From there, once I have all the reports done and investigated, as I'm doing an investigation, I'm creating a redacted report off the spot. So I take the event story and I rewrite it at the basis of my investigative report, and I remove identifiers, or I'll redact the names, so that should I need to provide evidence or to reinforce my claims that these events are happening, I can provide an investigative report to the public at the proper time that's already redacted, that doesn't have personal information. When that investigation is closed, I send that report to you as well, so you actually see that the work has been done and my analysis and the evidence that I've collected to validate the event. And so you now have a copy of that, and that's basically what we would release to the public if requested. And should there be any issues with what's put in that report, which there hasn't been so far, you have the opportunity to tell us at that point that that's not what you want to do, and then we have a written contract and we don't do it. If there's then, so that's that part. Then what I'm also planning on doing is the unknowns, the ones that I consider to be unidentified. I will have a copy of the redacted reports as well as the visuals, so the images that are drawn, to take with me in a binder that I'm going to tour and show and try to encourage others who might see the same things to report the same, so we have more data. When you fill out, now, if you have concerns about all this stuff, some people might, some people may not. When you fill out the report on the website, you will be told about 4 different ways that's what we plan to do with the information. So if you're not okay with that, then don't hit submit. So everything is written out black and white, 100% what we plan to do with it, and the reason why we're planning to do that. And that's basically it. But what we're not sending out and what we're not taking with me is your personal information. We don't care about where you live. We care about where the event happened. But sometimes the where the event happened is also where you live. But the way the reporting system works, there's no way to actually know that unless you tell us that in your report, I was at my house, then we can kind of put 2 and 2 together, but that stuff's not important to give to another investigator to help them with their research. So basically, that's the plan. But it's locked in a filing cabinet. It's kept safe. There's a copy of it on a hard drive. And there's a copy of that hard drive that gets copied once a month and then buried somewhere in an undisclosed location in case CIA comes after my ass. So that's what I do.
The purpose of collecting these reports, is it to build familiar data as to what is going on? Like, what do you do with it? I mean, that's the big question a lot of us have, that may be shy about coming in here and talking about the experiences or reporting the experiences, is we don't know what is happening with our story, with our information. Because you take the paranormal, okay, they come into your house, they investigate, and they end up doing nothing with it. Nothing. All right. Well, so I mean, here you have all this collected evidence and nothing to do with it. So I think that's a big question that a lot of people have.
So awareness is the campaign. There's many different ways that we can get the awareness out there. We have a podcast. It's called Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. I mentioned that earlier. You just search that on all your favorite podcasts. We try to put an episode up every Thursday. When we have a report finished, what I'll do is I'll talk about the report to Jamie and Deanna and Michael, who are also members of Tessa. I will explain to them the case in a redacted format, so that way they only have the information that's known, and we'll try to debunk it and make sense of it if we can, and then we invite the experiencer on for the next show, and then we talk to the to the experiencer, and we try to help them. We try to figure out what it is together, and we provide that support. Now, while doing that at the same time, we hope that others who are experiencing the same thing would be like, hey, that happened to me too. And then they report, and then we have, more data to compare to the other one to reinforce, these other reports. What I want to do, with it is have enough data from years after years after years to try to identify these crafts, try to identify these creatures, and not identify them as in to debunk them, like basically characterize them or type class them. I want to create a new classification system to say that, these objects are legitimate and these objects do exist, and this is where they've been seen all over the world, or all over Canada, basically. So there's so many things that I want to do with it, and in many different formats, but the whole point of it is to compare it to each other, to reinforce each other. So I'm investigating it all on a whole. So not one case is important. It's the collective that's important. You know what I mean? Like if one person draws a triangular craft in BC, but then I have, like, over the years, 16 or 17 triangular crafts that look the same, that might warrant a possible investigation out in that area. So what I'm also going to do with the data is, whatever I have as the leading statistic, so the most events in this particular area that are unknown, every year the plan is to physically go to said location and do some actual investigations with equipment and data to try and capture, or try to recreate, or try to see these things. So there's so much that I'm going to do with the data but I mean, you as the experiencer who report are updated along the way. Perhaps when we go to BC, like say it is BC, perhaps we happen to go there, we'd be contacting all of those experiencers and maybe try to meet up with them, try to give them more, because it's really more so what you want us to do with it. Because if it wasn't for you, like when I say you, I mean every single person who's ever reported or has ever experienced something. If you guys didn't say something to me or to Dave or to anyone, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So that is the main focus, is to try and do the request of every single experiencer who makes a report, because you get the chance to say what you want to do with it, and we do it. And and we just want that's the least we can do, really, is because we don't know what not everybody wants the same thing. You know what I mean?
Trip also wants to know, will you be posting any videos or pictures on the website for the public to see?
So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that, because I don't want to victimize the experiencers. I don't want the images to be taken and copied and shared and I say move on, and have the credit taken away and all that other stuff. So I'm trying to be a little protective on that for a few reasons. What I do plan to do at least for this year is kind of hold them to myself as a golden ticket, because I would like to start speaking again, because I used to do a lot of speaking with the Alien Cosmic Expo, but since I got kicked out of MUFON, I also got kicked out of that conference. So I'm trying to work my way back up to being asked to speak in public again, and the only thing I could really use as a bargaining chip is to show people these images for the first time at these events. And once I'm done with that, then I'm going to slowly release them. I should, right? I'm not going to withhold them. But I think, at least for this year, I got to focus on getting the word out there. But if I just post them on the internet now, then you guys aren't going to be intrigued. You guys aren't going to be paying attention. You guys aren't going to be waiting. And I kind of, I'm really excited with the stuff that I have because it's never before been seen. I'm really excited about the investigations that we're doing because it's evidence that no one's talking about. I really want to do it well, and I want it to be professional, and I want it to be taken seriously. And that's just my thought. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. That's just kind of my. So yes, it will happen, but slowly, because I don't want to jeopardize the experiencers, because I don't want them to feel unsafe. Like I could be followed. My mail's being tampered. I could release an image and then could ruin somebody's life. You never know, right?
True.
So, those are the...
You always got to be careful of that.
Yeah, so... Okay, next.
Well, we've got about 7 minutes before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. And, there's a few people asking about your situation with MUFON, why there was a parting of the ways there. And I know this is a very testy subject. We at this show have friends with MUFON. We got friends with you. We partner up with you for using Tessa on our Sightlines report. And I try and stay very, very neutral with this. But what happened between you and MUFON? That's a question a few are asking.
Well, I never officially got the response from Mark. He didn't have to give me a response. The assumption is Tessa was viewed as a threat, not a partnership, even though that's what I was trying to do. Stu was, had a couple of words with me one time thinking that I was upset because I didn't get promoted to the national director. There was, position, which there was 2 opportunities. It would have been 3 if I had still been in there. I don't have an official reason because MUFON has not given me one. But what I do know is that while I worked up top as the director of training, I noticed problems, and instead of complaining about them, I tried to fix them, and then I fixed the problems. But then by fixing the problems, I created problems for people that've been there forever, and then I exposed those people for what they were, and then I got bumped to preserve their relationships. And only to learn that they were paid members of the board, which is what funds MUFON. So of course they have a say because I pay nothing into the shares. I attacked Chris Ratowski and his UFO survey data, which I think he gave up because he gave all his research to the university, which is amazing. But, he didn't do a survey this year, right? Interesting enough. I mean, I caused a lot of fluff for MUFON. I was very controversial for MUFON, but the things that I was being controversial about were the things that I didn't stand for, which was deleting data, not allowing me to speak about the data before they were able to sell the data. And by data, I mean the images, the visuals, because they were controlling the market, because they are making money off of it. And you know what? They need to make money too. Tessa, we need money as well. But I mean, our business model is a little different. And I think what it all comes down to is I was providing a similar, better service for literally no money. And the threat, I think, came from the fact that the people that are running it were in it to make money. And if they're in it to make money, then they're in it for the wrong reasons. I don't make money I'm lucky if someone buys me a coffee one day. I don't expect to make money off of this. We do have, we do have a fundraiser, GoFundMe. It's actually on my Facebook account. Jamie and I are planning to go to Orlando in March for a pod fest, to learn exactly everything we need to do to raise money for our podcast, so that way we can get some type of funding, so that way we can do more. But like, our business model essentially is the experiencer, the victim, the one who is, going through, the one who's providing the information, shouldn't have to pay for anything. And it may come to a time where we may actually sell a completed investigation report that's been redacted with the images to other investigators to assist them. But that would have to come from, like, MUFON. MUFON would have to, other businesses to pay for that kind of stuff. But it would never come from the experiencer. Not saying that we're selling your information and things like that. I'm just saying, the business model basically is that we accept the fact that we're not going to make any money. And we don't do it for money. And we donate our resources, and we put everything together. Amalgamated Tessa into my business. So Tessa is now a division of Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services. So eventually there's going to be a phone line you can call, you can make a report. There's going to be a whole bunch of things. So, eventually there's no, it all comes down to the money, man. I think that's the main reason why MUFON outed me, to be completely honest, and I can't prove it. I cannot prove it. They kicked me out of Ace because they were worried that pooping on MUFON, was going to ruin tickets for the sales at Ace. So, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know.
Do you feel let down?
Let down? I was let down by them like 3 years ago. I already knew they were not running it honestly. I already knew that they were massaging the data to get on TV and History Channel and doing all that other stuff. I already knew they were taking advantage of the experiencers and leaving them high to dry. Right? Everyone quit. You can tell when people were quitting. We have some racism happening there with John Ventry, right? And then I investigated that, and he was still there. And I pushed and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. And part of that is probably why, all these things are just created problems. But they weren't actually problems. I was just trying to expose the truth. And the thing with Mark is, I was exposing him as a shady businessman, and the only way that I could prove that is by confession. And I was really, for the last 6 months of my career with MUFON, I was pushing him to confess it, because I had all the evidence, I had all the proof, and I just wanted him to say it. And I got him backed into a corner, and he never said it. He just kicked me out. And then a year later, he quit. So, I martyred myself, and I stayed with the organization long enough to try and fix it from within. And you know that, Dave. We've had many talks where I wanted to quit so bad, but I believed I could change it. And the only thing that stopped me from continuing to change MUFON from the inside was the fact that they cut me. And if they hadn't have done that, you and I may not be having this conversation right now. Who knows?
Very true. On that note, my friend, I got to get you to hold on, because we're 2 hours in. We got 1 hour to go here on Spaced Out Radio tonight. And we're having a great show with Ryan Stacey from Tessa, the Experiencer Support Association. TessaCan.org is the website. So make sure you tune on in for Hour 3 coming up next.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacey from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thierer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Hi, everyone. Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to give a shout out to everybody listening in on UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, and in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF AM 1560. On the digital side, we're proud to broadcast on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ichnumen. Ichnumen is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night. Join the Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. For the final time tonight, we bring in Ryan Stacey from the Experiencer Support Association. And Ryan, his website is tessacan.org if you want to check it on out. Ryan, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. You recently, this past September, submitted a report, a NORAD report, I believe, that you got from a Freedom of Information Act. You ended up passing on one of the files, a copy of the files, to Richard Dolan. What's going on there?
So the report came in. The current date is January 6, 2019, so like a little bit of a year ago. It happened at 11:30 Zulu time, so it's nighttime. It occurred in Manitoba, so Thompson, Manitoba, and it was the event information described it as a classification of meteor rocket / UFO. So there's kind of like a 3-type category for all 3 of those. And then it was explained as a Vanguard Air Care Incorporated Beach 200 from South Indian Lake, Manitoba to Thompson, Manitoba, reported that an inexplicable bright light followed them from CZSN to CYTH at the same altitude and speed. No aircraft were reported in their vicinity, and NORAD was contacted. So did a Freedom of Information request, and I've done 11 to date within this year, and all of them have been returned. No record found in tampered mail except for this one. And this one I had came to me in an envelope, of course, tampered as well. But inside that envelope was another envelope that had a CD in it. And that CD had one electronic file on it. And that electronic file is what I had at ACE there in September. So I brought that and to show you and to show Richard and to show Paul Hellier and Victor Vigiani at the time. Basically, I was trying to find out what the heck am I supposed to do with this, because I had a private discussion with Richard Dolan too, and he said, no, I was supposed to get that. And because apparently that's what happened with him as well, is he would request and he would request and they would deny it, and then eventually they gave him something. And then he did something with it, and then they gave him a little bit more. So that actually terrified me, to be completely honest. I talked to Randy Kramer about it. I talked to you about it, and then I haven't been able. It's been a year later, and now we're talking about it tonight. So, what that report is, it's a 7-page document. It's stamped by the Squadron 21. Of Hornell Heights, Ontario. So that is the Division of Aerospace Control and Warning Squadron that investigated it. So the interesting thing about this report is we have an inexplicable light that was followed, and then we actually have an unclassified document that I have that no one has seen yet other than Richard and Paul Hellier and yourself. You have to see it, and I am going to be doing an article on Superstitious Times where I'm actually going to release the document then. So I'm on my second. I'm building up towards it. But what's interesting here is there's some questions. So that's written down in his handwritten notes that describe the investigation. So for unidentifiable objects, give description including shape, size, number, formation, and any discernible features or details. And then he wrote, the investigator wrote light moving and paralleled. He has specific latitude and longitude. It was written southbound. The altitude was 7,500 feet. Speed was approximately 230 knots. Like, I don't know. I'm not a pilot, but I don't know how fast that is. I'd have to look into it. And what was the first attention? It was called a bright light. How long did it last? 3 minutes. There's a whole bunch of detail describing the event. And it is a photocopy of the original, so there are some things that are kind of faded out, but nothing's really been redacted. The conditions were partly cloudy. Where is it? There's some interesting things here too. Where is it? So I'm just going through. I'm on page 5 now. Where is it here? There's 2 things that I thought was very interesting. Oh yeah, right here, page number 5, question number 2. What is the identification of the object? And it says unknown. So this is coming from the Air Force Squadron saying it's unknown. So I have a document that says that is unknown. So they don't know what that is. And then if I go down to the end of the report, which is a typed up report from the investigator, it says at 0123 Zulu, Montreal Center called with service report from 2300 Zulu. Pilot reported oscillating vertical red, green, and white lights. No aircraft within 50 nautical miles ahead of aircraft -8 PVL 1910 from Quebec to Sept Isles. No further information. Be advised. ... So that is interesting that it says it's unknown. An oscillating vertical red, green, and white light. So that's if you can imagine that. Normally it's horizontal oscillating, but it's vertical. Like the way a tire would spin on a bike. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in this report that I did the Freedom of Information request, it just says an inexplicable bright light followed from those places. So we have confirmation that Canada is investigating these UFO reports. We have confirmation that this particular event is still unknown. We have additional details that's explaining stuff, describing something that's not normal behavior. And at the very top of the document, and under that says remarks, it says no threat. It just says no threat. So this thing is very interesting when I talked to Paul Hellyer. So when I talked to Paul, so for those who don't know who Paul Hellyer is, he's the oh my God, drawing a blank.
Ex-Minister of Defense for Canada.
Minister of Defense for Canada. Jesus, yes. I couldn't get the first word out. So he's familiar with the process. And when I introduced this document to him, he looked at it, didn't say anything. Then he looked at me and he just said, "What's your name?" I was like, "Ryan Stacey. I'm with Tessa." And he's like, "Okay." And he continues to look through it, and he's just like, "And where did you get this?" I was like, "I did a Freedom of Information request." And he's just like, "I don't know why they gave you this. Why would they even do this?" So he was puzzled that I had this in my hands. And I asked him, and I just said, "What does this mean when it says no threat?" And he says to me, he's just like, "Well, that's the thing. If it says no threat, then they know what it is. Because if they don't know what it is, then it's obviously a threat." So that is information too. So I have this. I have confirmation. I'm a nobody in Bucktown freaking Penetang machine with confirmation that Canada is investigating UFOs. And I tried to give this to Victor Vigiani, but he wouldn't run with it because it would interfere with what he's doing and his movement. I gave it to Richard Dolan. He's far too busy. He's still a fan, but he's just busy because he's Project Blue Book and the History Channel and stuff like that. And now I'm giving it to you, Dave. What do we do with it? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Put me on the spot. I'm the host here, man. I'm the host here. I think what we need to do is I think it needs to be reviewed. I think it needs to get into the hands of a newspaper reporter, not a television or a radio reporter, but a newspaper reporter who can do some digging into it and who is willing to take on the UFO subject.
Send them my way.
I got a couple people whom I can mention to you that would be very interested in that one specifically. In that, okay. Tim McMillan from Vice and Popular Mechanics comes to mind. That would be my suggestion with everything.
That would be a good reach too, right? We got to get the word out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the big thing is with the fact that you shouldn't be having that, according to Paul Hellyer. Tell the public what's on there that Hellyer found so intriguing.
Well, it's just the fact that he's seen the document before. It says it's unclassified, so I think he was just surprised in the fact that a Freedom of Information request landed this document. He alluded me to the thought that it's part of the game to not release these documents. So the Freedom of Information request is there so we can feel like we're free to ask for it, but we're technically not supposed to get it. Right? Because they can just say no record found, or they can say, got lost in the mail. It's still a legitimate excuse to control the narrative. If anything, we're identifying ourselves and saying who's interested in said data. We're kind of like setting ourselves up, right? But then Richard Dolan's approach is well, now what are you going to do with it? They denied it, but then they gave you something. What are you going to do with it? And then that's the thing. So now I'm doing something with it. It's small. It's very small. It's not the smoking gun, but I feel like I got to do something with it so that way they can continue to give me more ? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Maybe they are watching me. Maybe they do see a bit of the influence that I'm doing. It's only 1,500 likes. It's a small thing, but maybe they see the approach as with this disclosure movement. We got to leak this information out. And I'm not going as far as saying like I'm the one chosen for all this. I'm just the one who's currently requesting it. And they gave it to me, and I sat on it for a year. So. And I got another 2 in the tank that I'm waiting for them to send back. I'm hoping there's something there too. But
see, for those of us, Ryan, for those of us who actually can grow a beard, we call this a beard stroking moment of thinking.
Well, I'm scrubbing my stubble here. And,
my goodness.
Yeah,
my goodness. No, I'm just teasing. You know what? It is information that does need to get out to the public, and it is information that is relatively important. The problem that the majority of media has is the Canadian media doesn't want to touch this subject for whatever reason. And number 2, the American media doesn't care because it's not from the U.S. and it's not from the U.K., which doesn't make a lot of news.
Well, we've got to put Canada on the map. This stuff is happening to us too.
It's happening all over the world. It really is. But it's how it's reported. And when you have a bunch of people out there, reporters specifically, who do not want to take a look at it or don't have time to take a look at it, then it becomes troublesome. I got a question off topic here, as we only got about 7 minutes left with you. Trip is asking, he goes, I want to ask about the elephant in the room. Ryan, what are your thoughts about the To the Stars Academy? Are they a distraction from something bigger?
Oh, boy. Well, I followed Tom DeLonge through his entire career, through music, Blink-182, Boxcar Racer, Angels and Airwaves, even into Masonry, Freemasonry. I really idolize that man. I really do. But with To the Stars Academy, like the concept, the idea, it's great. But again, it's where it's tricky is his involvement with the government. Like he's open about it. They're open about it. I think they just recently signed a contract with a government agency, right? They claim to have technology. They claim to have research, but they haven't shown anything yet other than that video. So I have mixed feelings because there was a lot of hype about having stuff, and I haven't really seen any delivery. Now, that's also a marketing campaign too. He's putting out a CD. It's cross-marketing too. So I really don't know what the true agenda is. MUFON's eating it up because, it's good for press. I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about the guy that got me through college and in high school, all his music writing and stuff like that. But he might have got himself compromised. I don't know. It's hard. It's like with you, Dave, where you had a hard time trusting me 100% because I was part of MUFON. And the best thing that could ever happen for you and I is for MUFON to get rid of me. You trusted me, trusted what I did, you trusted my heart, you trusted my intentions, but you didn't trust the organization at that, to do what it is that they say that they do. And that's kind of how I feel with To the Stars Academy. I really idolize Tom DeLonge. I still do in many ways, and I would love to meet him, but I think To the Stars Academy is compromised. I don't know. I just have that feeling.
Compromised how?
They might be part of controlling the narrative. They might be, or they could be part of the disclosure. I don't know. I need results. I need to see something. I just saw an article a couple days ago that the Vatican is prepping for a conference February 12th to speak about extraterrestrials, which I thought was weird, but that's a big one.
Yeah, they may know something. They definitely may know something. And if they do go through with that, that's going to be big international news.
Oh, yeah. Just a matter of time, man. There's so much stuff going on, so it's hard. And everyone is...
But why is it important? Why do we need this specifically now, after so many years of being hidden in the closet?
It's because people aren't happy and satisfied with the life that they have, and they want to believe that there is something better out there, and they want to believe that that the government has been lying, because if they've been lying about one thing, that means they've been lying about everything. But I'll tell you this: every single UFO, like MUFON and Kuform and all them, they're all trying to solve the riddle first. They want to be the first person to confirm it, because that becomes an achievement. Everyone's trying to land on the moon, everyone's trying to land on Mars, colonize. Everyone's focusing on what's above, and not many people are focusing on what's here. So my whole vision with Tessa basically is to create detachments all over Canada at first to provide safe havens or place of safety for people to come and report their experiences or talk about their experiences, talk about their PTSD, provide those resources to them here. Because realistically, we're going to be left behind. If anything happens, if there's a war that's going to happen with the aliens and all this other stuff, or they happen to colonize another planet, there's a whole group of us that's going to be left behind. So I'm focused on preserving what we have, expecting disclosure to happen, and to try and be ready to provide support when mass panic happens, because a lot of people aren't going to comprehend that we have time traveling extraterrestrials that have been living on our planet for X amount of years, if that happens to be the way they disclose it. You know what I mean? Some people are going to want to hear it, but there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are going to panic. There's going to be anarchy. They're going to lose it. But then there's also going to be a group of people that's been denying the fact that they've been molested by aliens or abducted by aliens, because they just pass it off. But at that same moment, they're going to realize that dream that they thought is actually a freaking reality. And then who are they going to turn to? They can't turn to the police, they can't turn to the government, and they can't turn to the doctors, because they all get locked up or arrested. So what we're trying to do with Tessa is build that lack of a better term, refugee camp for the experiencers when disclosure happens, because we got to take care of our people.
There's a lot of people who do believe that disclosure won't be happening, but I mean, that's for, unfortunately, another conversation. Ryan, do me a quick favor, as we got about 45 seconds left. Tell everybody what's on the Tessa website at tessacan.org.
Tessacan.org will give you the list of support page of everyone that assists Tessa. You'll also have the reporting system where you can report to us. We also have Facebook, so the Experiencer Support Association. I have a personal Facebook page. It's at Heed the World. You can follow me there in my work. We have a podcast, Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. Every Thursday, we try to get an episode up. We also have a Patreon account where we do exclusive bonus footage, and we talk to everyone too. If you want to become a Patreon, $3, $5, $7, whatever you feel like. Those are the contributions that we need to continue doing what we're doing. If you don't pay, that's okay. We're still doing what we're doing, but every little bit helps. And that's pretty much it.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you taking the time to come on Spaced Out Radio again. We will be doing it again soon, because we love you around here, my friend, and always appreciate you taking time. Yeah, I'll come on. Hey, coming up next on Spaced Out Radio, we got the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. We're coming right back.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thielen. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Always a pleasure to have each and every one of you tuning on in. Reminder that if you've missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, grab a great book from We Read the Night, join the Space Travelers for $5 a month, and Captain Shirk has you all up to date on the SOR Newswire. Speaking of the news, it's that time. Shall we? Let's. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and the sometimes making sense. Devastating bushfires have resulted in a series of trees crashing down onto busy highways all over Australia. Crews from the New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service have been working tirelessly to remove the branches and logs that have caused several road blockages. On Tuesday, crews were seen using chainsaws to remove the tree that had fallen down in Alpine Way of Kosciuszko's National Park in the state's snowy mountains. Is there snow in Australia? I mean, it's always like 40 degrees Celsius there. How can there be snow there? Anyways, but an environmental scientist is now calling for those trees to remain, as they could be used as shelter for struggling wildlife. Yeah. Now, I believe this is where the public should be allowed to enter and take the timber that is left on the side of the trails. According to residents of the area, obviously no cutting down trees, but collecting fallen timber for firewood, etc. at home would help reduce the fuel loads around National Park, one man said. Tracy Chapman, an environmental scientist from Glenray in northeastern North South Wales, says the idea to take the wood or to use it as mulch was just plain ridiculous. I would never advocate rashly going in and taking wood out. Ms. Chapman says, we miss something so simple with the importance of habitat. We've got this massive issue at the moment with these hollows, and it's not embedded in a policy that should be considering these as valuable resources rather than mulching them. You know, looking at these logs, they need to be mulched or cut up for firewood. Ms. Chapman says the crews should be working to chop up the trees into smaller hollow pieces to be placed in the bush for wildlife to find shelter in. Okay, Miss Environmental Lady, you know what happens when wood dries in the forest? Do you know what happens? It becomes a forest hazard for future forest fires. She goes on to say, it's pretty dire. If you don't give shelter, they won't be able to start breeding again and they won't survive. Okay, I get that point. I do get that point. But once again, you do know that dried out wood burns really fast, may cause a fire or 2 or 5,000. The bushfire crisis has taken the lives of 33 people and destroyed more than 10 million hectares of land. Yeah. I mean, it's terrible. But you don't sit there and put dry wood in the forest. Like up here, where I am, surrounded by trees, they want you to go into the forest and take the deadfall out. Why? Deadfall causes forest fires. It's amazing how that works. You know, dried out wood, heat, humid, non-humid conditions, things burn. Don't get it. Don't get it. Okay, Planters has announced that it would pause its online campaign promoting the sudden death of its mascot, Mr. Peanut, following the tragic death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant. Last week, the nutty brand had social media buzzing when it debuted a commercial depicting the demise of Mr. Peanut, sacrificing himself to save his pals, actor Wesley Snipes and Matt Walsh, who were hanging from a cracking branch after their car drove off a cliff. He died at age 104, Mr. Peanut did, following Sunday's helicopter crash that killed the Los Angeles Lakers superstar. Planters said it was slowing down with its latest marketing campaign. We wanted you to know that we are saddened by this weekend's news, and Planters has paused campaign activities, including paid media, and will evaluate next steps through a lens of sensitivity to those impacted by this tragedy, Planters said in a statement. Planters, however, did say that the pause is only affecting online platforms like Twitter and YouTube, but that it would continue to run its scheduled commercials in the pregame and third quarter of Sunday's Super Bowl. This isn't the first time real-life events have affected marketing campaigns and televised programming. Last August, ABC and ESPN announced they would not air the Apex Legends video game tournament following the mass shootings in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. In 2018, Paramount Network delayed the premiere of its TV adaptation of the dark comedy Heathers after the Parkland shooting. Following 9/11, the sitcom Friends had to rewrite an episode that was originally had a subplot featuring its character Chandler being detained at an airport after he joked about a bomb being present. I'll give you another one, a little bit of CanCon here. The Tragically Hip song, New Orleans is Sinking, was banned in the United States after Hurricane Katrina wiped out New Orleans. Yeah. So, good on Planters. Officials in a Croatian city are trying to find the young authors of a message in a bottle that washed up on an island. Filip Bozic, 8 years old, said he was playing on the beach on the island of Vis when he found a bottle that contained handwritten messages from sisters Matea and Mia from Castel Novi. Matea's message, addressed to pirates, said she was a third grader and was preparing to launch the message into the Adriatic Sea. Bozic found the message Saturday, 15 days after the date of Matea's note. The city of Castella shared the saga on its website, asking for more information on Matea and Mia, who did not include their last name or any contact information in the message. Oscar Myers, Wienermobile. Well, it's in trouble. No hot dogging for driving the Wienermobile. A Waukesha County, Wisconsin sheriff's officer pulled over the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile on Sunday for violating the state's move-over law. The rule requires drivers to either change lanes or slow down while passing a stopped vehicle with its emergency lights on. Technically, it wasn't the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, as the company has a fleet of 6 crisscrossing the country to promotional events. The police department tweeted that the driver of the orange and yellow vehicle was let off with a verbal warning, suggesting there's no ill will against the company for moving its headquarters from Madison to Chicago in 2015. Had the driver been ticketed, they would have been on the hook for a $249 fine and 3 points on their license. Oscar Mayer is currently taking applications for its next class of a dozen drivers, or hot doggers, who will begin training behind the wheel of the 27-foot vehicles in June. The deadline to put your name in is January. What? The deadline to put your name in the bun, oh, that's terrible, is January 31st. In fact, an Oscar Mayer spokesman says that the Wienermobile that got pulled over was on its way to the University of Wisconsin-Madison for a recruiting event. She added that the company reiterated the importance of always driving within the law to the current drivers following the infraction. Oscar Mayer does have a need for speed, however. The company sponsors NASCAR driver Ryan Newman and recently held a poll to pick the design for his Roush Fenway Ford Mustang, which will feature at the next upcoming race in Phoenix. That's kind of cool. Here's something cool as well. A rare species of frog with translucent skin has been seen in Bolivia for the first time in 18 years. That's awesome. I love stories like this. 3 Bolivian Cochrane frogs, a species so-called glass frogs, were spotted by conservationists earlier this month in a national park. The tiny amphibians, just 70 to 80 grams, measured about 19 to 24 millimeters. I have no idea what that is in inches. I'm sorry. Like, maybe half an inch? Half an inch? Well, hold on. 30. Oh, God. I don't want to go to Google on this one. My math is bad on this one. Anyways, glass frogs are found in Central and South America and have skin so translucent that their internal organs can be seen through their bodies. Investigators found the frogs in the Carrasco National Park east of the city of Cochabamba. Or is that Cochabamba? One of the two, as part of a mission to rescue reptiles and amphibians whose habitat is threatened by hydroelectric protection. This rediscovery of the species fills us with a ray of hope for the future of the glass frogs, one of the most charismatic amphibians in the world, but also for other species. Members of the team mentioned in the media, the 3 frogs were taken to the Ceara Amphibian Conservation Center at the Alcide d'Orbigny Museum, where scientists hope to encourage them to breed. Other famous residents of the center include Romeo and Juliet, a pair of rare Suhensia water frogs, which scientists hope to mate as well. That's a horny amphibian center, man. Whoa, trying to get everybody to breed there. A South Carolina animal rescue group put out a call for a piggy cuddler or more to help 100 rescues pigs learn to be comfortable with humans for their new lives as pets. Isn't this cute? Cotton Branch Farm Sanctuary in Leesville said in their Facebook post that it is seeking piggy cuddlers to help socialize the animals after they were rescued from an animal hoarding situation in Kentucky. Belly scratches, cookies, sitting with, and even just talking to our pig friends can get them ready for their new home. Bacon not included. Evan Costner, executive director at the sanctuary, says physical contact is important to help the pigs adjust when they are given new homes. We need to socialize them so they can eventually bond with their herd leader. Costner said the sanctuary is currently in the process of finding new homes for the 100 pigs as family pets. Finally. Oh, finally. Firefighters in Florida said a hazmat team responded to a gas station where a man filling up his boat made a total Florida man move. Yeah, he got his boat confused with a fishing pole holder for the gas tank. You know, you set your rod in the holder. Yeah, that's where he pumped the gas. Must have forgot where his gas tank was. Orange County Fire Rescue said the customer at the 7-Eleven in Orlando was attempting to fill up his 18-foot boat around 11:35 yesterday morning when he accidentally pumped 30 gallons of gas directly into the cockpit. Fire Rescue said the man pumped about $60 worth of fuel into the cockpit and then put another 40 of gas into the actual tank. The hazmat team was able to siphon most of the gas out of the boat, and no injuries or evacuations were reported to the station. Reminds me of this video I saw on Facebook recently. Maybe you guys did too, where the lady was washing her car with gasoline. Like she was squirting it from the gas gun and then using like the window cleaner to like clean her headlights and her windows and everything. Who does this? How are you able to get a license if you do not know where your gas tank is? I don't know. Sounds a little dangerous, doesn't it? Thought of the Dave time. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask for a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. Hold on. Before I do this, I gotta make sure Marty's got the clown going. Marty on Twitter. He always posts a clown during this segment. Oh, there it is. No, Marty, I hadn't been getting your Thought of the Dave clowns on time. You sent it 15 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago. That one's going to hurt my eyes. That's going to send me into a seizure or something. It's like a bunch of clown faces that are like moving really fast. One of them fancy GIFs. By the way, is it GIF or GIF? There was a big vote on Twitter. Hashtag GIF, hashtag GIF, whatever you think it is. Big poll. Big poll they're doing. Anywho, as we get to the Thought of the Dave today, see if we can find this bad boy. Shall we? All right, here goes. Why do you think more people are reporting seeing UFOs of late? Have you been seeing UFOs? Do you want to see UFOs? How do you see UFOs? Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to start looking up. Up is where the UFO is. At least, so they say, right? All right, let's get to your responses, shall we? Let's do this. Barry, most likely because more people are looking up, as the 2 new shows on cable TV are dealing with UFOs are being strongly promoted. Yeah. All right, Gabe. Funny, I have not seen one since the one I recorded back in 2016. Oh, you poor guy. You poor guy. You must feel terrible over that. Honey, there's no UFOs out there. My question, Gabe, is have you spent time outside the house looking? This is what I want to know. I do not know this. Got to figure it out. All right, continuing on. Caden. I think with the small amount of disclosure the media and government has given out, the public is more intrigued. When you have people interested, they're taking their faces out of their phones and looking up more. Dr. Chris Cogswell says, I've actually heard the opposite, that reported cases are down significantly. Really? Okay. I heard the opposite. See how this whole thing works? Who's telling the truth right now? And who are they? Anyways, he had a couple people respond. Coral says, I've read that as well, Dr. Chris. William Pullen, the UFO historian. That's 3 of us. Let's go to Becky. Maybe it's because the fear of ridicule has decreased a bit. Serena, because they're showing themselves more and more, potentially too, it's our own secret space programs making a bigger splashy appearance. Heather, because the blue team, TOVP, whatever the hell that is, will be soon opening, and that is the hub of the Blue Beam. I read that wrong. Blue Beam. The Blue Beam operations, projecting images into everybody's skies. The chemtrails have done their duty to provide a silver screen in the sky, allowing for this huge deception to go down. That is massive peak woo right there. Derek, that's massive peak woo. If you're listening. Hold on. I had to check Twitter if Derek was listening. Jif is peanut butter, John. It's GIF. GIF. Jif is peanut butter. I'm on Team GIF. Where are you? Let me know at hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter. All right, continuing on here. Alfred, they're all drones. Oh, come on, let's see some UFOs, Alfred. Uncle Dale and his power stash. I think the Greys, tired of being ignored and disrespected for decades, have started reporting themselves in an effort to become relevant. It'd really be difficult to sell interstellar technology to people who don't believe that you exist. Daryl, because people are finally becoming aware and looking up and seeing what's up there. David, why? Starlink? Satellite trains? That's kind of cool to see, actually. Uncle Marty, I think it's because reporting to see a UFO is the new in thing to do. Could be very right there, Marty. Karen, last one I saw, 1973, Maruba Beach, 11 p.m., Marine Parade. Can't understand this was not reported. There was two of us sitting talking. Brian, social media, quantity of sightings does not equate to quality of sightings. Jim, the legalization of cannabis, maybe. Cameron, it's hip to be square. I don't think people pay attention more, or I do think people pay attention more. I think it's important to look during daylight hours. My Tic Tac sighting was in bright sun and blue sky, and it was amazing. Sparkles, I believe that more people are reporting what they are seeing because to voice a belief in UFOs is becoming more acceptable. You're darn right. Bob, I heard cases are down also, but a lot of people are seeing Starlinks too. Sean, I don't think it's more UFO sightings, but rather people more willing to admit it. And finally, Chris, misidentification of new technology, developmental aircraft, rocketry, and satellites. No tinfoil there. Thanks to everybody taking part in today's Thought of the Day on Twitter and Facebook. We'll do it all again tomorrow. We say thank you to Captain Shirk for putting together a great news package for the SOR Newswire, which can be found on our website, spacedoutradio.com, and from Tessacan.org, the Experiencers Support Association, Ryan Stacey, for coming on in and being our guest tonight. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Special thanks to everybody in our chat rooms on LGAB, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, Facebook, the SOR Space Travelers Club on our website, and, of course, all the snarkers and snarkettes at hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited, so don't go using the thing without talking to us first. I want to say thank you to everybody for sharing your evening with us. You make it so much better. And together, my friends, day and night, don't make a mistake. We're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. I know you're out there somewhere watching me. Oh, like you don't sing to it, too. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. John Tenney, the paranormal weirdo. He's up next tomorrow night on the Mighty SOR. I'll be here. John will be here. I hope all you as will as well. See you tomorrow. Good night.